Socio-political and socio-economic matters are being discussed with relevant stakeholders and resource persons. Welcome to another episode today, and we're also going to be looking at something interesting that will require also your contribution. So get yourself ready to be part of the conversation for the next 1 hour. Yes, like you all know, we are not going to be doing justice to the topic of discussion today alone or by ourselves. But before I introduce what we are discussing, let me introduce our guest in the studio. Today we are being joined by very prominent individuals, stakeholders, and relevant resource persons who will also be joining us in doing justice to this topic of conversation this morning. Join me as I welcome Prince Adesoni. He's a politician, public affairs analyst, current affairs analyst, and of course, the essay to the Ogun State Governor on inter-ethnic matters. Good morning, Prince Adesoni.
Good morning, presenter. Good morning, viewers.
Nice having you join us. And also from my far right, I have Chief Rotimi Taylor, who is also a prominent individual and a strong politician at that, joining us in the conversation this morning. Good morning, Prince.
Good morning.
Good morning, Chief. Yes, good morning. I think I'm giving you praise because Prince Adi is here, so we're having two friends in the studio. Yes, and I'm not also alone. Doyinsola Ogunbadewa is in the studio. Good morning, Doyinsola.
Morning, Morin Kezi. How are you doing today?
I'm very fine.
I think this cap signifies something.
Ramadan is coming.
You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead.
Ramadan is coming. But this one shines better here.
Oh, okay.
Good morning, everyone. It's another edition of Roundtable, reaching you from OGTV. And Doyinsola Ogunbadewa is my name. As Morin Kezi has said, the topic of today concerns everyone because it's about democracy, it's about politics, it's about what the future of this country will be. But I'm going to leave the rest for Morin Kezi, at least to fire the question.
Oh, good. Thank you for leaving me to start. Yes. And let me just begin by introducing what our topic is this morning. Today we are looking at the future of democracy in Nigeria. And like I said, we are politicians, yes, will be helping us to, shed more light to some critical questions. Democracy remains the foundation of Nigeria's political journey, but the question persists: is our democracy evolving or merely surviving? Yes, this and many more are the questions we'll be asking our guests in the studio today. And Honorable Rotimi Taylor is the Deputy National Financial Secretary of ADC in Ogun State, and he's also, he's got a lot to tell us about democracy. Democracy, they say, is the government of the people, for the people, and by the people. So let me start straight from Chief Rotimi, or Honorable Rotimi Taylor, because I'm also right to call you Honorable this morning. He has held several political positions. Yes, firstly, let me ask you, considering your personality and the game of democracy in Nigeria, what do you have to tell us as the journey been? And do you want to draw a little comparison to, another system of government that is the military, and because we have experienced it too in Nigeria. So what do you say to democracy and the journey so far?
Well, I think democracy has become a complex topic because the way we were taught that democracy is a government of the people, by the people, for the people. Then we've looked at international democracy, how it's been practiced in the Western region by the American government, by the British government, and then we look at the peculiar case of Nigeria, how democracy is being practiced. And we look at it that, is this the type of democracy that we were taught in school? Is this the type of democracy that the international community has put up? What are the differences? The one in Nigeria seems a little bit different. That is my own opinion.
Thank you so much, Chief Rotimi. But when you look at it, like I said earlier, it's a system of government that has come a long way with us, that stayed with us. Democracy has come to stay. When you look at, we've been transiting from one administration to the other in the country. But do you think the general public now, do you think people are actually, the citizens are gaining more power or losing faith, considering, the spread of the dividends of democracy? Are people really, when you want to look at it from the perspective of citizens, is democracy actually justifying the essence?
Well, I believe, first of all, to have what you call democracy, you must have a government of the people. Do we have a government of the people is the first question. How do the leaders get elected? Is it through a free and fair election? And are those the representatives of the people, or people are being forced onto the people? And the accountability is more to the apparatus that can bring them into governance instead of to the people. So until those questions are looked at critically, I think we cannot define what the democracy is. We need to find a name for what we practice.
Okay, to Prince Adesoni, when you look at it critically in your own view, do you think, honestly, can you tell us that the democratic system of government, the state currently in Nigeria, how do you describe it? Do you think it's worth talking about democracy as a system of government in Nigeria from your perspective?
Thank you so much. Democracy, we have enjoyed like 26 years of uninterrupted democratic settings without military intervention since 1999. And this system of government, the only opposite system that you can use to compare is the military, and you cannot compare both. Whether you like it or not, the democracy, we are not where we want to be, but we are emerging. We are not where we used to be. Comparing democracy to military system of government, we have freedom. We can elect our leaders. They elect it, or no matter how minor it can be, you can still speak. There is freedom of speech, there is freedom of expression, and the electioneering process is improving. You cannot compare election process of 1999 to what we are having now. We are improving. We are not where we want to be, but at least we are seeing digitalization of electioneering process. We know there might be one or two challenges, but there are improvements in the process. And generally, we cannot deny the fact that one of the major challenges our democracy and system of civilian governance has been facing, and even the military, you can also discard the ethnic division. If you observe from the 1960s to the first coup, to the second coup, to the Nigerian Civil War, you cannot detach ethnic division amidst it. The first coup was tagged as a coup against the North. In which Ahmadu Bello, Tafawa Balewa and co were being murdered. While the second counter coup was also tagged as a coup against the eastern part of the country. So as you can see, you cannot detach the ethnic coloration to our governance system. And when democracy come on board, we also see that one of the first political parties we start seeing Action Group. Action Group is dominantly a southern party. We start seeing NMPC. All those issues, there is strong ethnic division. But if you see, when our democracy keep emerging, some policies keep popping up to unify Nigeria as a whole. Without this unity, there is no way we can be balanced as a democratic nation. Now, if you want to register a political party, it is mandated under INEC law, under INEC Act, that political party must have a national spread. Unlike what we used to have before, there was an action group that would domicile, you would think I can win from the northern part of the country. So it is a law. You must have a national spread. You must have offices and representatives across all geographies of the country. So that tells you that our leaders, the people at the have identified the fact that ethnic division plays a strong role in making our democracy to grow. Up until today, we are seeing issue of ethnic profiling. When they roll out appointments, you'll be seeing this in a nepotism appointment. There is more populated with Yoruba, it's more populated with Hausas, and that is the element of democracy. The leadership and the people are democracy. We all know the party is a system of government of the people, by the people, and for the people, but majorly the electoral process is being dominated by the people, but the decision making is being dominated by the leaders. And these leaders, if it is not well spread, taking into consideration of unity policies, our democracy will not be balanced. I think one of the greatest threats to Nigerian democracy is one of its ethnic division. If we are able to unify our differences and see ourselves as one and start creating a policy that will not turn towards ethnic division, I think we will get it right. Indeed, we are not where we ought to be. We are improving. You cannot compare to the military regime. There are so many things we are enjoying. I mean, after every 4 years, we elect our leaders. In military regime, we do not have such power to elect your leaders. In most of the cases, we change, the leaders are being changed by God. So we are happy that we are not in that era, and if we are caught wanting by the leaders of any offense, even though it is not justifiable, you will go for it. There is no proper court system, the only military marshal that can take decision on you. So we are evolving, but we are not where we ought to be. But the fact that we enjoy over 26 years of uninterrupted democracy is a gain. And we have to pay much more attention, because there is a signal from neighboring countries. We have Niger, we have Burkina Faso, we have some African countries that are now reverting back to military rule. And we should not also forget, just of recent, we also have a failed coup attempt in the country, in which the champions of those coups are facing a trial now. So it's also a lesson to us. We have to buckle up and improve our democracy. If our democracy is improved, certainly we will not have challenges of unwanted military takeover. Countries like US that are stabilized, the chances is very minimal for a military to think of planning a coup. So it's a matter of having an established settings, making the democracy well established, well managed, and something people have confidence
and people-centered.
People-centered and democratic settings.
Okay, you said a lot, and you're still going to talk more. But when you were talking, I picked some points, like you said we're emerging. Good. But if you look critically into the kind of system we practice, really it's supposed to be a democratic system of government. Can we really say that it is truly democratic? In a way that you said after 4 years we elect our leaders, and everyone in this country know that we're still having problem with our electoral reform, the election process and the rest. So talking about electing our leaders every 4 years, can we really say that we are there already? The way we conduct our elections, the way we announce the results, and the way people see the results as well. Do they really believe in the electoral system of this country? Those are the questions I wanted to ask.
Maybe I'll quickly add, you also don't forget to talk about, the manipulations, all these sides, sitting sides syndrome that is, is the case. No governor or anybody wants to spend 4 years and leave, just like you and your position, like you've said.
Thank you so much. I think let us be empirical in this analysis. Our last 2023 election is an empirical analysis that votes do count. Indeed, Labour Party came on board, not really a new established party, but a new reinforced party having Peter Obi on the ballot. They won a lot of positions. They won a lot of states. They won out of National Assembly, State Assembly, won a lot of positions. That is pure vote accounting. If votes are not counting, how will Labour Party has won so many elections? Labour Party won Lagos in the presidential election. If votes are not counting, how will you win Lagos, where the president came out? So we are not perfect, we are not where we want to be, but certainly we are emerging. If we can have such kind of vote, even if we check the Ogun State gubernatorial election, our close rival PDP, if votes are not counting, how will they be too close to meaning the people that believed in him, that voted, their votes count. It's obvious. If you observe our electoral process from 1999, that is where you see a wide gap. That's when you see, yes, people unbelievably said yes, most of these elections are being written. That is when you can clearly justify. You see an extreme wide gap, so we say clearly justified. But these are just concluded elections. It is highly contestable. You see, a candidate is losing even in a stronghold, which means some people have interest in the other person, and it counts. The numbers are out. So it's obvious. We have the National Assembly from Labour Party, state assemblies. We even have a governor, Oti, His Excellency Oti. So it's obvious. That's analytical. Unlike when it used to be written all through. When we said a party can write it all through, then we will have written it all through. But we are not where we used to be. And thank God, we see the argument about our electoral act of recent that also have to bring about a demonstration about the transmission of the result from a polling unit. That shows you we are progressing. We are really progressing. We used to be in an era from 1999 where there is no digitalization at all. Everything will go manual, then people have the effrontery to do whatever they want to do. But now, with the IRF, a lot of digital strength has made it difficult for a total manipulation. A human aspect will always be there. A human
manipulation, you said, yes, but there should be a human being.
Nobody on earth can tell you can totally decide or predict what a human being can do. Human being is one of the most unpredictable phenomena on earth. You cannot define human being. So anything can happen in the process. Anybody can act or react. But certainly we are progressing.
You are just being philosophical and scientific about all your contributions. But of course, when you look at it, we are still not going to erase the fact that ethnical issues.
But I would have loved that.
Playing game in all of this.
Reacting to what
yes, I also want Honorable to say something to that too. But I was coming to pick something from Addison's contribution, where he says, you know, in a particular state, we have representatives of different ethnic groups being in a position, like he is representing the Arawa community. But are we having it all equal? Like he has said, well, we are not there yet. Yes, your contribution, Honorable, would be that, okay, maybe your contribution to the last conversation, but of course, you know, we're talking about technological advancement now. How are we? Recently, the electoral reform is pointing in another direction. People actually want a transmission of results online from the polling unit. There were arguments. The Senate have another, you know, position on this subject matter. Do you think we are there yet, talking about the advancement in technology? Are we really ready for it then going forward?
I think normally the elders say when a child falls down, he looks forward. But when an elder falls down, he looks back, that what made me fall? Why is there so much talk about the Electoral Act? I think when you have a situation when a man comes forth and then he's said by a court that he has won the election, you start to wonder how that electoral process gave that answer out. When there are electoral laws and a man can contest for a different position and then come back and they change him for another position, and the court still feels that that is okay, then I'm beginning to wonder that is the problem, where is it really coming from? Is it from the courts or is it from the Electoral Act? The interpretation, even if you put real-time voting, what will be the interpretation of the court? Like, for example, Abuja, they said you must win a certain percentage of votes to be able to be president of Nigeria. How did the courts interpret it? So the final interpretation of the courts has brought about a serious change to our democracy. So you find out that apart from the technology, the court system has to I don't know what to say.
Make it clear,
yes,
Honorable.
because
you know, when you're talking about the court process,
Yes.
I think you are going into direction of after the election, somebody lost, then going to court, the person might be winner of the election, and you're trying to make a point.
If you look at Edo State election, look at the results still that are available, you will start to wonder how the courts decide on some of these elections, how they take their decisions, and you find out that those interpretations, well, they say the Supreme Court is final. And sometimes they take a decision. Should the courts actually be the ones taking the decision for the people? Like in a situation where a man came forth and then you now declare him as the governor. Should there have been a real...
Are you trying to take the judicial system away from a democracy?
No. I think we need to have probably a panel or something that would examine the position of the judges, even the Supreme Court, where it does not fall within the law that such judges should be punished. I think,
but there are evidences before the court.
I think the Supreme Court being final, there should be a final body again.
No.
Of individuals, that would examine that judgment and decide whether that judgment is fair internationally or to every country. But you find out that even our international friends, they mock us at some of these things, that look at what they are doing, yet they accept these results. They complain that, there's manipulation, but yet they accept it, indirectly supporting this illegality.
No. You can't completely say that, Honorable. I think we should look at it in this perspective. The judge, the judicial, the lawyers or the judges are not, they are not God themselves. They work according to the evidences provided for them. I have been a reporter covering, this litigation, this court proceedings of election, tribunal and all of that. And when you see them bringing out evidences, it is from this, from that. All these things have been collated from INEC, the umpire, a lot of evidences, witnesses.
Some of those papers, you can see manipulation on those papers.
Nobody can tell where the manipulation is coming from. If there are manipulations,
you shouldn't even have cancellations. These are things that the judge should throw out immediately. I don't care. I'm not talking of in favor of anybody. No, they should just not be in favor of any party. We should be able to believe in our justice system. And have 100% confidence.
What's your reaction? Because I can see that you are nodding, you're kind of not comfortable.
It's a jurisdiction. We are practicing a system of government that creates independence for the three tiers of the government. They have their independent judicial system, and I think they also have a panel that coordinates how they make their judgments. They also review most of the judgments. And when we were talking about there should be a panel that also review what the Supreme Court does. The Supreme Court has emerged as based on this request of Honorable that we need some people that will review the entire cases, the entire judgment that commence from the federal court to the appeal court, the federal court, all the lower courts that make a judgment. So Supreme Court was being organized to review all court cases, all court judgments, and see the ones they can affirm and see the ones they can reject. So I think that is where we are in. And either we like it or not, we must stop at a point. Even if we have another body that will also review what Supreme Court does, we have to stop at them. When they review cases and make judgments, some people will still be aggrieved. So there's no way, we must stop at a point. But at that point, we just said, if they agree at Supreme Court judgment, refer to God.
But don't you think Prince is actually pointing at some political interference in the entire process? Sometimes, we're in Nigeria. There are times we still have this political interference.
Don't think there are some intimidation?
That is where I'm going. Don't you think from your perspective?
I'm not looking at, there's always human error. And human beings, like you said, you can't if I have a case in court, I can try to approach the judge. It's left to the judge to do the right thing. So as a human being, you find out that Nigeria, they don't believe in democracy, most Nigerians. They believe in what favors them. So if, for example, government A is the one that favors them and they feel that they can probably make money from or get benefits from, you find out that anything that government does, they don't see anything wrong in it. In most cases. It is those people that are either neutral or people that are feeling the brunt of the government that you find out that do the complaint. So those people there, they will go to even a judge and beg him that, that man is my brother, oh, that man is from my own part of the country, or that man is this. So it's left to the judge. You see cancellations all over a form, and you still pick that form.
It's like things have been to Tribunal before and all of this.
I think I get where he's coming from. Like, even some Nigerians don't believe in our electoral system. When it comes to election, you will hear people saying that, why would you have to go to the polling booth?
Because they already know.
Because they don't believe in the system. They will tell you that either I vote or not, the person that we elect the winner, they already know. So why am I wasting my time? This can even affect this can affect our democracy, really, because when you see that, okay, my vote does not count. Even if sometimes in your presence, if you go to polling booths, some polling booths in the past, if you go to polling booths, you'll see some agents that are supposed to be monitoring the election for their party doing something else. They have come with things to tip people.
I don't think we should even go to that.
Okay.
I think we should go to the one that has evidence.
Okay.
Let's go to the thugs that go to polling booths that are recorded. They are recorded, disrupting the electoral process. And there are laws guiding these things. How many of them have you seen punished?
Maybe intoxicated.
Before now, I think I am one person that always think there are cabals somewhere who take decision on every election.
You always think that
I'm not saying, but then, I always think, when I don't have my facts, I can't say there are, but I used to think that there are people seated somewhere who make decisions for all this process. Sometimes you feel like, will this person be the winner? Does he have the justification to lead and all of that? And before you know it, the drum will be towards the person's side, and the president becomes the governor. So I think there are some things we need to get right in this country, talking about democracy. But going forward to both guests now, I want to ask, looking ahead, maybe the next 10 years, 20 years, God spare our lives, how do you, are you kind of optimistic, or worried about Nigeria's democratic future, talking about the future of democracy in the country? Who wants to go first?
I think that we should not even be worried. We should have a straightforward arrangement. The question you ask is, who is afraid of immediate transmission of votes? If you know that you have done your homework well, look at the political parties. I don't expect any one of them. They should be very proud of themselves, because you should have gone out to do enough work to make sure that, yes, the people are with you and they are going to vote for you. Why should you be afraid? How much is the budget of INEC? Even if you deploy Starlink for internet access to some of these rural areas that they said cannot be reached, you find that the internet will be there to transmit the results. There are so many ways that you can transmit results. You can even save some, and then where there will be no manipulation, the final forms are the final, and they must not have cancellation on them. So there are ways that you can do these elections where the votes will count. And once the votes start counting, Nigerians will develop interest in these elections. They will start to vote, and we will enjoy what the gentleman said, knowing fully well that every 4 years, hopefully, because I read of a proposal now to make it 16 years. You understand what I'm saying? So, and normally when such things come up, you always look at, oh, this is ridiculous, but sometimes it's more to it than what you read in the newspapers. So we don't know whether there's a proposal, because we now have majority of one party in the Senate and in the House of Rep, and they could easily take any decision they want to take now because there's really no opposition. So if it is being said now that, oh, it is now 30 years, then it is every 30 years. So I don't know whether which one is going to be, but if it is 4 years, like we have now, then we know that it is 4 years. But I think this particular election is so crucial to Nigeria, the one coming up. I think people should not be discouraged by anything that their votes will not count. I think Nigerians should come out, because if we don't come out this time, I believe there will be a lot of regrets.
Yes, your contribution.
Thank you so much. It's quite important. We are on air, the journalists, the resource person, and all other people that fall within this category. We are opinion molders. We have to encourage the teeming population on the benefit of believing in the system and increasing your belief in it so as to come on board. Certainly, we are not where we used to be, as I said earlier on. We are emerging, we are improving, and it's obvious based on the last election, so votes duly count. And there are so many successes in the electioneering process. Maybe from 1999, we do not even have a PVC. We do not have issue of accreditation. So many things that we are missing, in which have all emerged. Thank God now we have so many aspects of technology, but we are asking for improvement on a certain segment, which is transmission, which I think is achievable. But at any point in time, there will always be one request or the other. That is certain. There won't be any time within which we said we have reached our apex, that we are fine. We do not want any improvement in the settings. Even the almighty US, that has one of the best democratic settings in the world. After Donald Trump lost his last election, we saw how people flood the house, and so that shows you it can never be a perfect system. You couldn't imagine that can happen in the US. People that can just flood to the house and disrupt the house settings. But there will be one issue or the other. But we want to encourage our people to increase their belief and know that things are improving. Certainly, the way vote counts, you cannot compare it to what we used to see before. I'm not sure this last election that we had to have a new party emerging. It's an encouragement. We have to see. We can also see people are asking for what they really want. This transmission of results, that people are asking for what they really want. So I want to believe it is a kind of people are increasing their interest in the system, and we as opinion molders, we will keep encouraging that things will only happen when we show interest on it. It can never be a better system if people start withdrawing and they are not coming to participate in the system. The democratic system is the best system in the world. You have your freedom. You can speak, you can talk. After some years, you go and cut your election, you can contest, you can do a lot of sorts. If you read the history of our elders that witnessed 1960 downward, you see the military handles activists. If you talk too much, you see what happened to you. At least, if you read about Fela, you know what happened with Fela? After he released a song about governance, his house where they call Kalakuta was sacked by the military. They harassed him, they intimidated him, they even threw down his aged mom from a story building down, lost to the hospital. She eventually lost her life, and at the end of it, they even said the military men are unknown military men. These are the things can hardly happen in modern democracy. It can hardly happen in modern democracy because there is rule of law. It might not be perfect, but so many things can happen. You can go to court, you can a lot. If I end up losing a court, but at least you have a window. In that system, you don't have much window. You don't have much window.
Yeah, can I just come in? I like what you've just said, that in modern democracy, there's that choice. What brings about that choice is when you have a vibrant opposition. So if, for example, the people want A and the government wants B, so those vibrant opposition would go into the Senate or the House of Reps and say, no, this is what the people want. Or what if they are all of one party? Are we going to still have that vibrant opposition? Will it still be a government of the people for the people? Or will it be a government of government for government?
Well, however, it's not the responsibility of the government in power to develop a vibrant opposition. It is the responsibility of the opposition themselves to organize themselves.
But what of the power of incumbency?
Can I please, this one is not. The people have already voted. They voted for different parties. But on the floor of the House, those people converted the votes for PDP to APC. They shift carpet.
How sure are you? How sure are you? How sure are you?
No, because when you move from one party, that's the party the people voted for. They wanted an opposition. And you go and join another party. That means
the choice of the representative
the representative, if he's taking that choice, then he should leave the mandate behind.
You know, cross carpeting is allowed.
Is allowed.
No, I think because carpeting, when it gets to this kind of stage, it kills the voice of the opposition.
Okay.
And when you kill the voice of the people, that when you are saying it's the responsibility of the people to vote, the people have voted, and they have voted a party that they think for the next 4 years will be an opposition.
And the party, you leave a candidate in a dilemma when he's aware that this party cannot enable him secure ticket for the second time because the party itself is not getting its footing, things are not working in the right
direction. The second term is not why you are in politics.
Okay.
You are in politics for the people. Okay. That should be your priority.
Honorable,
nobody wants to say that. I
don't want to disagree, but I want us to leave it at that. I want to direct this question to Alhaji Hadi. You know why I'm directing this? Because you are a youth. You know, I know that really we are enjoying democracy, but we cannot move away from some of the challenges that we are facing in this country. Really, we know that this country, we have a brighter future with the participation of youth now. We have at least a number of population of youth participating in democracy and a growing civil society as well. But you know that if we want to really move forward, the 2027 election is germane and we have to do something to make it a success. Do you understand what I am saying? So now, how do we now manage the electoral process if truly we want 2027 to be a success, because it's a critical test for the country's democratic process. So now, you know, when we started this program, we mentioned about the electoral reform and the rest, and you were able to say that in 2023, some other parties were elected into the office. But when you look at it now, those parties, many of them have defected into the reigning or ruling party. So now, how do we do this? How do we manage? How do we have a great success in 2027? How will the votes of the people count?
Thank you so much. Vote of the people count indeed, justifiably. If it doesn't count, those representatives won't be able to get to that seat before they even count.
I am talking about the 2027.
Yes, I heard indeed. The ticket holder is not the decider of how you vote. If he's the decider of how you vote, the incumbents of that seat that was unruling party before wouldn't have lost to a Labour Party or to any other party. So which means people still have their decision to make. Most of the people that decamped will tell you we have went back to consult our constituents. So and it is left for him. Has he really consulted them? If they have consulted them, he will win. If he hasn't, they will vote to where they want to vote. So it is within their right. Both the ticket holder and the voters, they all have their rights. When their decision, when their interests align, it will return. If it doesn't align, they will also vote to somewhere else they think they can vote to. It has been justifiable to them that their vote will count. Because if their vote will not count, how did he even win the election? So which means their vote counts. So there is nothing is under duress. Even if the ticket holder did not consult them, well, their vote is their vote. So that's why I said it is within the it's not the responsibility of the sitting government to decide how the opposition manage themselves.
No, you don't seem to get my question.
Yes.
In 2023, I contested an election under a party. Now, when I got to the office, I defected into the ruling party.
Yes.
So now in 2027, it shows that I am going to contest under the new party that I am in. So if I even went back to my constituency, definitely I'm going to tell my people, you need to follow me to the new party that I am going. And that will affect, like Honorable has said, that will make it a one-party system, because there will be no opposition again. If all opposition parties have defected into the ruling party, definitely, where is the opposition? That is what I'm saying, that in 2027, do you see this democratic process being followed when everyone has defected into the ruling party?
We cannot really say everyone has defected into the ruling party.
Okay, almost.
Yes. We still have opposition. At least you can see Honorable here is our Deputy National Financial Secretary, and we can,
the ones we can see, you know, in the news every day you see so numbers of people have defected into the Kiniko party and Kiniko.
And the democracy we are really talking about now is the election, is the ballot, and our democracy is being decided by the ballot. And when is the ballot? 2027. So it's left with the opposition, like my Honorable here, to galvanize, to strategize, and see how they can challenge the ruling. The opposition has lost, has unseat the ruling party. We've seen it several times.
Of course.
At least when APC came together, they unseat the PDP. So nothing is impossible.
Okay.
Nothing is impossible. So I want us to assume that.
I want to agree with him.
Okay.
I want to agree with him. I want to agree totally with him.
Okay.
All what we are asking for is a fair working ground. Let these votes count. What is the problem with immediate transmission of votes?
I think the argument there is just because, you know, we are in a country where technology advancement.
Yeah, but you have Starlink.
Yes.
You have internet that you can deploy. That you don't need.
You know, this internet too can be unstable sometimes.
No. Not when you use satellite. That's what they use on the screen.
You're sitting as an expert in the field.
You know, so when you use satellite, the internet is there. So, and then it would be brought down to minimal. So why not the vote as they vote, so that there's no collation room where anybody will say that they are changing votes? It's to the advantage of the ruling party. If I'm in the ruling party and I have so many governors, I will jump at it, because that's where I know I have won the election.
My little clarification on what Honorable just said is that, you know, it is not based on the analysis. When I read the bill and saw the analysis at the floor of the House, it's not an outright rejection of no, we are not transmitting results. What the House are saying is that yes, we are transmitting results, but for areas that we are unable to get network, we do manual. The first thing is that we have accepted that all, which are the majority of our locations has network. It is an acceptance with clause. So we don't want, they don't want to, and can we they don't want to overrule, okay, those areas they've not been able to. I think it's not a challenge to the INEC to now prove to the House that we can deploy network to all the other. Okay, the practical is right.
No. You see the fear, I don't even believe is of the National Assembly. Like I said earlier, the fear is of the judiciary. How they will interpret that which you have said. Because now, who is to determine where they will say that even if he reaches there and somebody gets up and say, my Lord, we are going back to the so you find out that it's better you just say, let us do it this way.
Chief, let me ask this question. Going away from all this, contesting, yes, we have just 1 minute to go on the program, so let me ask this one. Some people argue that politics is quite expensive. It is not for an ordinary citizen. So that's why we are battling with this, problems in democratic system of government. How do you see this? Do you think it is so? Do you think it's that expensive for ordinary individuals to come up and say, I don't have the money, Are you getting my point? But I have what it takes to represent my people. Am I going to get it done without, financial capacity? I don't have to be sponsored. I don't need all these huge, finances. I don't need big pockets to, to be able to get this thing when I know that I am going there to represent my people. What do you say to all of this?
I believe that is already happening. Like you said, you mentioned Peter Obi. Peter Obi came into politics and he told the youth particularly, this is what I stand for. And I don't believe he was giving them money. I don't believe that he was doing much. People were doing things for him to help him spread his gospel. And at the end of the day, he did very, very well. So you find out that if Nigerians see hope, hope is what they are looking for now. And they want a situation where we can have a better Nigeria. A Nigeria of our dream where everybody will be comfortable. Because as it is now, a lot of people are going through excruciating pain. And that's why you find out that they are looking for somebody that will come and relieve them to save the situation of Nigeria. And those people that want to relieve them are also looking at, all right, let us protect the boat, just in case we have a chance of winning. We are not saying that we are going to win, but we are saying that if the people decide that, okay, we want this change with you, then let the votes be free and fair. Let's transmit it. Let's stop all this cancellation and bringing number 4 and saying it's number 1.
Number 1. And we'll get there. Well, thank you so much, gentlemen, for being part of the conversation this morning. Prince Addison, nice having you. Chief Rotimi, thank you for always honoring our call to be part of our conversation. Thank you so much. We are glad having you. Yes, democracy is a shared responsibility and of leaders, the institutions, and of course citizens alike. While we are still battling with the challenges, it remains what we should be talking about. But conversation like this help us look for possible solutions, create proper awareness, enlightenment for the people, and that is why we say that Roundtable is a platform where ideas meet governance. We come your way every Tuesday to talk about issues that are germane and of national and local interest. This is where we shall be drawing the curtain of this program today. Join us again next week for another interesting episode. My name is Morenikeji Shobaloju, and I'm telling you to be a good ambassador and support democracy for our nation to grow. Leisola.
Okay, for me, I want to believe that if this country will grow, it depends on you, it depends on me. Don't say that that is the system. If I vote, it will not count. Please, when it is time for you to vote, do your part and leave the rest. Let's make sure that the democratic process in this nation continues and grows. Doing Fela Ogunbadewa is my name. See you next week.